because they're not out yet, which means that this
To wait till the full
space is
season's
just
done.
lost until they finally give it back to me.
That is
And
great.
the same with Resident Evil Revelations 2 right now. It's like, oh, it's also episodic, which means I can't delete it until until they release all of them, and then I've played through all of them as much as I feel like. It's like, so more and more of my hard drive is, hard drives, they're supposed to be sort of, oh, you can read and write and erase and stuff. But now it's just like, there are more and more permanent fixtures on my hard drive that will, like, I can't really delete them
Oh.
because I want to play them, and they're digital games, so downloading Battlefield 4, 50 gigs again is not something I want to do every month. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's so funny. On like that bar graph, I have like a screen capture. I went through over like 120 gigs on one day just downloading stuff. When there's that Critics' Choice sale or whatever, and then like there's all those like the sale like 2 weeks in a row. It's like the Critics' Choice and then something else before the Vita
Yep.
sale.
Vita first this day.
I was like, oh, what did I do? My bandwidth just got ate and just ugh. It's like 40 gigs for flipping Dragon Age, flipping what else? Borderlands stuff or all the Telltale stuff, and then Shadow of Mordor, and then yeah, crazy.
It was weird. I'm trying to, the reason I'm playing Walking Dead on PS4 is so I don't have to play Season 3 on PS3. But then it's been too long, so I remember major decisions and things like that, but I guess I can never really recreate that original save file.
It's more about the choices, Tropical. It's not really about the like exact same response to every question for me. It's like
The thing is, like, yeah, you know, part of the magic for me with Walking Dead season 1 was that it felt like, because they often did the, oh, he will remember that, she'll remember that thing,
yeah.
and so you felt like everything mattered. And I mean, I guess the truth is we don't know that those things didn't matter. It seems like they didn't really matter, but maybe they will at some point. And it's hard to say, I think, is the thing. And so looking at it, like today, I messed up one of the choices. Like, oh, I thought I said this thing, and then it led to that other thing. But actually, that is not what happened. And so one of my major choices turned out entirely different. And I was like,
oh no.
so do I go back again? It's like, but I don't really want to do that. And then, yeah, so it got me thinking, like, yeah, like that first time, the first, sort of gut reactions I had playing the first time, that's sort of locked in. And if I lose that save file, then it's just sort of lost. Like, I can't make it again because I can't, give myself amnesia and forget how I played this game and then do it exactly the same.
See, for me, it's like I know I will probably play it very similarly, just because like it was such a personal experience of like I know what I would do in that situation, and like I would like even like especially like the end of season 2. I think it's episode 4, because it's like it's something I should have did but I didn't do, and I'm like, oh, Tekken, you're such a wuss, you're such a wuss, you're such a yeah, you're terrible. You'd be eaten alive in the situation. Luckily, your homie Kenny's there to save the day, like always, which is why we didn't kill him.
But I'm wondering if they're going to try to, come up with some solution where you can import PS3 saves over to PS4 for season 3.
That would
Because
be
that,
nice.
that seems like something they should
Yeah,
do.
I would love it if they do that.
That would be really great. Or, they might take the view of, well, what Tekken was saying. It's like, yeah, only the major decisions matter. And so they'll just be like, well, then it's pretty easy for people to just do them over
they could
again.
do like a like Mass Effect style like storybook of this
Oh,
is
yeah, or
Clementine's
they do it
story.
that way.
What's happened so far? What did you do? You terrible, terrible person.
Yeah, so something. Guess we'll see. They announced it, right? Season 3?
I don't know.
No. No, not yet.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought I heard that they were working on it, but then they didn't announce anything.
Oh, okay. I guess they're busy these days.
Are they still? Do you still think they're gonna do Clementine?
I think so. I actually think she's going to die. Because that's a very Walking Dead thing to happen. And, it's not like before. Like the Walking Dead comic book, they like to kill people that you like. And it's sort of a guess for them. And maybe they get fan letters and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, this is a character that everyone likes. And so they're going to die. And it's going to be impactful and awesome. And with Clementine, like they have built it in such a way that I don't, except for RPG, I don't know anyone who's like, oh, I don't care for
Oh, not
Clementine at all.
invested in the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, for me, it's
Everyone
like I
is
don't know why
invested
they
in
would do that
Clementine
though,
now.
because that would make so many people so
To
angry.
hurt you, to hurt everyone.
But then like especially after like season 2 just felt like it was just without a theme besides survival. So it's like if they do that, it's like, well then what was even the point? Because now you're dead.
Exactly. That's like
Yeah,
isn't
that's what The
the thing of
Walking
Walking
Dead is
Dead? Yeah.
So I feel like, well, I don't know if they're gonna do it immediately, but it feels right. Like they would.
Like I could see them doing it eventually, but not in season 2. Like that just
It is an opportunity that they have created and really doesn't exist elsewhere. It's like we have created a beloved character, and we know she's beloved because she is. I mean, people say, "Yeah, that was me." This is my Clementine. So it's just yes, ripe with possibilities.
But then doesn't that kind of like, I mean, artistic integrity inside, like that kind of is like a deception of the audience when it's like you're playing a game that's choice based and then your choice is taken away when it's like, or I guess you don't have any choice in the matter, like when that happens to your character.
Well, maybe there's a choice. It does seem like because the end of season 2 was very open to lots of different outcomes. So maybe
Oh yeah, maybe there's like
that would
one,
be even
oh,
more
yeah, they could do
impactful.
like Mass Effect 2 where it's like, maybe there's one way like where stuff goes down and you don't make it back
if,
from the suicide
if
mission.
you cause it, then it's even more impactful.
Oh man, that would be great. Yeah, it's like the worst permeation of season 3 would be like
Yeah.
if Clementine didn't make it out.
I would love that. That'll be like the final episode. It's like an escape or something that she just gets grabbed and like credits.
Well, actually, that wouldn't be bad because like it's kind of open to interpretation. It's like, well, my Clementine made it out, so she's a survivor. She wouldn't just get grabbed and that'd be it.
So people would be like, "What?"
Yeah, shock value, man. It'll be killer.
Season 4 would, man, the pre-orders would be through the roof.
It's like, how big of a cliffhanger can we make? How suspenseful can we get the audience? That is terrible.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, basically been playing the same stuff that these guys have been playing, except for Destiny, and to a much lesser extent, Grand Theft Auto. Finished a bit more Mass Effect. I'm just slowly moving through that now. Got to see some old friends in there, so that was cool. But mostly I've been playing a game that released on Tuesday on PC. I think it's called Cities Skylines. Is that right?
I think so. I saw people tweeting about it.
Okay. It's basically it seems very obvious that it is the game that these people were like, "Oh, SimCity screwed us over. We're going to make our own SimCity." Because it is so much like SimCity. It is the graphics, the sort of artistic presentation is very, very similar to SimCity, but I guess better. SimCity was kind of limited in scope for, who knows really what reasons. I think a lot of it is it made it less complex to play. And Skylines is basically like, no, screw that. It's like, if you want to build a city building simulation, you need to have everything. And so it's like SimCity, but with a ton of stuff added on top of it as well. So, for example, in SimCity, you have healthcare. So you can build hospitals, and you can, and then the big feature of this one was, or the newest SimCity was that you could build onto the buildings. So when you first place down like a clinic, it only has like one ambulance, and you could add ambulance garages, and it would have more ambulances, and then that clinic could serve a larger area in your city. Skylines, so they took out the part where you can build onto the buildings. They just make it so you adjust the budget to healthcare, and there'll be more or less ambulances depending on how much money you're giving them. But then they also added death. So you have to build cemeteries that send out hearses to go get dead people. Otherwise, like, dead people just stay in the houses and then people move out. It's like, what? So there's dying in SimCity, but there's never been the graveyard section. Like, you have to dispose of the bodies in some way. And this one has that, and it's pretty elaborate. Like, the people living in the houses age over time, and then so everyone dies at some point. Which is, that's not a level of simulation that SimCity had ever, I don't think. And then so things like even simple things like wind power. If you want to put down a wind turbine, you can actually, the map will tell you where winds are stronger on the map, so you know where to put them. It's like, wow, that was never in SimCity. SimCity just assumed wind is everywhere because air is everywhere, so why not? And then things that they removed from the recent SimCities, like laying down water pipes, like those are all in Skylines. And you can also do things like, so once you've created like an industrial zone, you can also make that industrial zone a district and then apply different rules and stuff to that district. So you can have, you could cover your entire city with industry and then divide it into different districts, and then those districts would have different industries. So like in my city right now, I've colored one of them as a lumber district, and then so all the factories changed into lumber mills and stuff like that, and then they produce less pollution, they pay a little bit more tax, it uses more electricity or something like that. And it's just like there's a lot of extra stuff that you think of. Do they use like
trees from the city itself, or just it's like automatically made?
I'm not really sure. Like when I was watching them build, it looked like they were actually growing their own tree farms, I guess. Okay. And then they were cutting those down as well. I was like, I don't know how much wood you could get from growing your own trees, because it takes a while for a tree to grow.
That's not something that just grows overnight that you can harvest.
But then, well, it did say, like, at one point I was like, oh, cool, it's doing less ground pollution, so I'm just going to turn all of my industry into the lumber industry. And so I started expanding that district. And then the citizens communicate through tweets, or, like, whatever version of tweets that they can do without getting sued. And it said, it's like, oh, are you going to cut down all of our forests? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, so it is cutting down the forest. And so I colored it back, and then, like, all of the lumber mills closed, and then they sprouted back up as other factories. And I was like, wow, that's fun.
That's pretty cool.
And then, I think one of the biggest problems with SimCity, which is why it's still sort of broken, is the citizens they're not real. Like, they don't have memory or anything. So the stupidest example is, like, when Sims will be living in their apartments, and then when they go to work, they don't go to their job. They go to the closest job available. So you'll just see this pack of Sims walking down the street, and then they'll just fill into the closest job until that one's full, and then they'll go to the next closest, and so on and so on. And then when they get out of their jobs, like, they don't go back to their homes. They go back to the closest home available. And so, like, there's no memory per Sim. Like, the Sims don't have lives like we do. They're just they're just like